Listen, y'all. Did I not call it or did I call it? Listen to me. I will never lead you guys astray. Okay. I told y'all I'm a amazing discerner of people. I be seeing it. I see what's not on the surface. Okay. I told y'all. Matter of fact, I gotta run this clip. I gotta run this clip. Something that, and this could be nothing, but it's just something that stood out to me. He said, "I don't want to have to put my dreams and aspirations to the side." So I was like, I wonder what that means. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Mini Thoughts with Dr.T, the show reviews version. Today we're doing Ready to Love, part 2 of the reunion. And you know how we do it over here. Your favorite late show reviewer. Do we come out on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, not even Monday? Okay, Tuesday. So you review everybody else's shows. And then when you want a little bit more, I'm here for you. Okay, because that's what I do. So, I'm kind of sad. Ready to Love has come to an end. After what 7 months, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I know they ended with Cisco and Tay, but I felt like that's where all the juice was. So we're gonna start with that, and then we'll double back to everybody else. Okay. And I just want to say this. Let's just say you might have a sweating problem or you have a hot flash problem. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you sweating everywhere, you sweating all the time. Would you wear a velour suit? I don't know. I wouldn't wear a velour suit, but hey, okay, that would might have been a poor choice, Cisco. It looked great, don't get me wrong. But the sweat was sweating. I'm just saying. And Cisco, I'm not trying to be funny, but you really got to get that checked because I think you're 35. Something's going on because yeah, you like literally have been sweating in every scene that we've seen in the show. Okay, so you really got to go get that checked and see what the underlying issue could be. But anyway, so we get started with Cisco and Tay, and Tommy asked how they're doing, how her and Cisco are doing, and Tay says they are not together, which was a little surprising for some of us. And she couldn't get past the stability issues, but he checks all of her other boxes. And she says maybe it was her and she sabotaged it. And I just want to say, Tay, you definitely did not sabotage it, okay? That's not true. So don't even tell yourself that. Actually, I'm so proud of Tay. Since episode 6, y'all know I've been screaming from the mountaintop since they came back from that extended break and they had that little shindig outside. And that's when we found out about Cisco and not having a car and all this type of stuff. I was screaming since episode 6, like, no, that's not, don't do it. Because, y'all, we're not talking about Cisco don't have a 401k, or Cisco don't have $20,000 in savings. We talking about the basics. We talking about a vehicle. We talking about a place to lay your head that you can call your own at the age of 35. Okay, so we you know what I'm saying, we not putting too much on it. And so I was with Tay. I stand with Tay on this. Again, I think if you're already with somebody, they fall on hard times. Of course, we understand that. If you're in your 20s, okay, I got it. You might not have a car. Might not have you might have a roommate or whatnot. But we talking about 35, and we're talking about somebody that you don't know. So that means you would be willingly choosing to get into a relationship with somebody that's not stable at the age in your mid late 30s, and you still want to have a family and you want to have a kid. So I just didn't think it was smart. And I'm glad that Tay didn't let anybody shame her like Tommy tried to do on that last episode. Look at me because my wife was with me. It's like, no, Tommy, we don't know Cisco. We don't know his work ethic. He might not be the same as you. Okay. So don't do that. You and your wife could have met when y'all was 18 and y'all built that. Did y'all meet when y'all was 35? So don't do that. So I'm glad Tay didn't let people shame her into giving Cisco a chance or whatever like that. So good job for her. Now, so this is where we get into the juice. So Tay says, and this is what we was all wondering. Okay, Tay says that she inquired about Cisco's past, and she said that he wants to be a model, and he has quit jobs in the past to pursue his modeling career. She is concerned that he may do that once they have a family, and everything will be on her. Listen, y'all, did I not call it or did I call it? Listen to me. I will never lead you guys astray. Okay. I told you I'm a amazing discerner of people. I be seeing it. I see what's not on the surface. Okay. I told y'all. Matter of fact, I gotta run this clip. I gotta run this clip. Something that, and this could be nothing, but it's just something that stood out to me. He said, I don't want to have to put my dreams and aspirations to the side. So I was like, I wonder what that means. He said, I don't want to have to put my dreams and aspirations to the side. Because he was saying, I'm hoping I can have my career, my woman, and my family. And I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't you be able to? But it just made me think there are people, we all know them, probably at least have one in your family where for them, they have and we all have passions and dreams, but for some people, it's their dream or nothing. You see what I'm saying? And these are the type of people where they rarely have, and not that everybody got to have a 9 to 5, but you rarely see them with consistent work, or they might work 3 months here, 4 months here, constantly job hopping, or if they have a job at all, or they're always doing some new hustle or some new thing. And for them, it's really hard for them they almost feel like sitting down and going to a 9 to 5 is like a defeat for them almost, and it's like I can't I can't lock, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I can't lock myself down. I got to be trying to do whatever that dream is. But the issue is a lot of those people can be a little bit more unstable because they don't have consistent income, and work history and things like that. So they kind of live a more spontaneous type of life. And I'm not saying that's Cisco, but when he said that he doesn't want to have to put his dreams and aspirations to the side, I was just like, I wonder. I didn't give him a whole scenario. Okay, look, I think Cisco wants to be a gym owner. I think he wants to own a gym, okay, and or be in like fitness somehow. But he knows, like, maybe he doesn't know how to get started, or it's going a little slow. So he like, dang, I gotta work at some 9 to 5. I gotta do something. But that's not really where his heart is. So maybe it's hard for him to stick with whatever that 9 to 5 thing is. Maybe it's bringing his morality down and stressing him out because he really want to be a gym owner. So that's my scenario for Cisco. I don't know, y'all. I'm making this up. Um, y'all, I'm here for y'all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I be saying. Like I'm here. I'm here for the people. Okay. That's the clock it. Y'all know I got my clock it button. I'm gonna say that's the clock it of the season. Clock it. Okay, that was the clock it of the season for sure. I really called that, and I felt because when he said that, because remember he was just like, well, in the perfect world, I could have a career and a family and the kids. And I was like, well, why couldn't you have that? What's going on? So I just felt like there was something there. And then the bigger part of it, because I thought maybe he wanted to run a gym or something. So I was off on that. So he wants to be a model. So that's the thing. I was like, there's something out there. And then I also was telling y'all a lot of times, people like that, the issue is it's their dream or nothing, right? So most of us, we have a passion, we have a dream, we want to be somebody, but we know we still got to go to work. That's majority of people. But there are some people where it's like, I can't work at a 9 to 5. That's holding me back. That's holding me down. That depresses me. I gotta be chasing that thing or nothing. And people with that, it's hard for them to hold jobs. So she said that, right? I told y'all that it's hard for them to hold jobs. They might be working somewhere for 3 months and then they stop, or working over here, then they stop, or they doing this hustle, or they did doing this pyramid scheme, or now they selling whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they're always trying to, they got their eye on this big thing and they want to be this superstar. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can live your life how you want to live your life. You see what I'm saying? But I do know people like that. And so when Cisco said that, that's immediately what I thought. I was like, oh, there's something that he's chasing. And I bet that thing maybe hasn't matriculated, hasn't turned out in totality the way he's hoping. And because of that, I think he probably has a job, but he probably hates it. Probably the smallest little thing he quitting and he on to something else. It probably depresses him. He talked about having depression and that type of thing. So I'm just saying, I'm here for y'all. Okay. Um, and so that's exactly what's been happening with Cisco. Um, and never forget, y'all, Cisco is 35. That still be blowing my mind. I still think of Cisco as a 55-year-old man. Very attractive 55-year-old man. But I'm older than Cisco, y'all. That still blows my mind. Um, so yeah, that was a really big revelation. And come on, y'all. I mean, we gotta side with Tay. Like, I can't, as a woman, if I want to have a family with you, I gotta know that you are going to be stable and you're going to make rational decisions. So if you quitting jobs here and there, that is scary. Um, yeah, that's a little scary. So then Tay says when Cisco explained to her his relationship with his ex-wife, she felt like it sounded like he mooches off of women. I said, say what? Wow, but and this was Cisco's interpretation of what Tay said. But Tay didn't deny it, so maybe she really did say that. I can definitely see it, y'all. And the reason I say that is because pretty privilege works for men as well. So you remember I told y'all episode 1 and 2 with Coley, I called it with her. I said, I feel some pretty privilege working. And what that means is when you're a very attractive person, like more than normal attractive. Okay. So, most of us are, I'm just making this, we're sixes, sevens, like we cool, we look good. But then you got people that's like, oh, they turn heads from whoever, wherever they go, type of attractive. And when you're attractive like that, the thing about it, you're always going to have suitors. You're always going to have people that will break their neck, throw their back out, and sprain their ankle to be with you at all times because you're so attractive, you're so fine. It kind of it upgrades their status as well. People are like, oh, that's your man, that's you, that's your woman, right? So it upgrades that person's status, and so people will always be trying to break their neck to be with you. So you never got to worry about having anybody. And the problem with that is it can stunt your growth in a way because you never really got to try too hard. You never really have to work on yourself. You never really have to change anything because if it doesn't work with her, then I got 10 more. So I'm going to just stay who I am. I don't have to change. I don't have to try to make it work like most of us do. We find somebody good, like, okay, let me try to get myself together. So, because the picking ain't good out here. You know what I'm saying? But, when you're uber attractive like that, it's a dime a dozen. So you really don't have to work too hard. So when she said he mooches off of women, I don't think, and I don't know Cisco, y'all. He seems to be a genuine person from what I've seen. I haven't seen any crazy red flags except for the stability stuff. He seems to be a good person. I don't even think he means to take advantage of women. But I can see it happening. From one of the things that what I just said, like I can see him just not really ever having to work on himself and having to be like, okay, if I want to have a woman and family, I got to get a stable job. I got to figure out my career. I gotta, if Tay don't work, then it's gonna be 5 other women in his phone that's cool. And they might be cool with him not having a car and stuff. So he's never really had to get serious, I think. Um yeah, so that's my take on that. And I think just to end this with Cisco and Tay, I think he needs to figure out how he can do a hybrid approach. How can First of all, what's a career that you enjoy or semi enjoy? That you can at least get yourself up to go to it every day. How can he bring in stable income and still pursue the modeling piece? I don't have no idea about the modeling world. I'm not sure why you would have to quit to do that. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know why. I don't know if maybe all the gigs are in LA and New York or something. But if so, it's like, okay, move to LA and New York so you don't gotta quit. Like, I don't know. Do they be going on tour or something? Like, I'm not sure why you would need to quit your job to do that. But I think he got to figure out, how can I do both? Because I'm a huge proponent that we're all here for more than going to a 9 to 5. I think everybody should have that thing on the side that you're doing. I'm not talking about starting a whole business, but something that gives you joy, something that you're doing that gives you passion, that lights you up. It's not always our 9 to 5s. Okay. For me, it's this. I enjoy this. So yeah, I do got to go to work and do that so I can have money for my family. But I enjoy watching the show and jumping on here and doing this with y'all. So he's got to figure out how he can do both. I don't think he should just like, well, you need to stop modeling in and that, because that will, I feel like, kill a piece of him. So yeah, so Cisco, I feel like you a good guy. You just gotta figure out how can you do both. Figure out a career path. Um, and then figure out, do you need to move? Maybe you in the wrong, where's he in? I guess they're in Philly. Maybe Philly's not the place. Maybe you need to be in New York or LA or something. I don't know. Maybe you need to be a waiter on the side, a bartender, get your bartender's license or something. You probably will make a lot of money with all the women, okay? Or something. But you gotta figure out how to do both. And then also it's like, I think Deanna was saying this, and I normally don't agree with Deanna, but she was right in that as a man, you need to have your stuff together before you start pursuing women. You can't take care of yourself, not let somebody else. So I don't know why he got on Ready to Love. I'm not sure about that. But I think you need to pause the dating process until you can have a vehicle and a place of your own, then press resume. Okay. So that's Cisco and Tay. Clap it up for them. They pretty much wrote for each other from the beginning. So that's them. Okay, now back to the regularly scheduled drama of Cam and Rose. Okay, so when we left off, Rose was on a rampage. Okay, and she left off telling us, "What are you expecting?" And so we pick back up with that. And then she says, "Who is Alexa?" And not the automated system either. I said, Rose, you just you doing a lot. Okay. She said, I'm talking about the woman that called you that night when I came to help you pack your stuff and you told me you was not going to answer the call. So Kim plays it cool and says, look, oh, you know what? This is our last episode, so we gotta do it.
Alexa is my ex. We just friends. I promise you that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
So Kim plays it cool. Okay. Um, And then Rose talks about some type of pregnancy scare. She said she looked at his phone when he was drunk on her bed and she seen pictures of maybe a pregnancy test or something like that. Um y'all, I was just so disappointed. This was like a terrible look. This whole reunion. What's going on? I was like, wait, are we all in like our mid to late 30s? Or are we just graduating college? Like, what is this? What is happening here? Rose, what? I, s- y'all. Okay, let me keep going. Kim also said he felt like Rose was dating him and Hussein at the same time after the show. So then Tommy asked Rose if she was also intimate with Hussein, because obviously she's been intimate with Cam. And she said that they're dating. So I took that to mean yes. It's just so sad, y'all. You don't even know these guys like that to be having sex with them so soon. Rose, what's happening, girl? Both of them? You known them for like, I don't know. I mean, I know they're showing this to us over the course of 7 months, but y'all gotta remember they recorded this all together. So she couldn't have known them but for like a couple months, couple weeks. So just very disappointing. Neither one of them has shown any type of commitment to you. So I'm confused about that too. They both actively, from what we've seen, work to get you off the show. One little thing, they didn't know your baby's father was incarcerated. They were done with you like that. Off. Should have told us. Get off of here. So I'm just like, you knew that you got kicked off the show, and something in your mind said, you know what? I'm gonna still talk to both of them. I'm gonna go over their house. I'm gonna still have sex with both of them because they good people. They just, I don't get it, y'all. I'm like, did you forget they kicked you off? Okay. So then she said Cam is a con artist and very controlling and thinks everything is going to go his way. Um, Again, y'all, and where my clock it button at? Clock it. I told y'all that since episode what 2 about Cam. I've been calling him Cam Ike Turner since day one. I don't know. Maybe when you in it, you can't see it. Maybe we have an advantage because we're looking from the outside, but I'm like, girl, I could have told you that. Of course, Kim is controlling. Of course, he wants it his way. His family even said he's stubborn. It's gonna be his way or it's gonna be no way. That's how he roll. Okay. Um, and see too, that's why you gotta stay out of the bedroom so early because your eyes get cloudy. You can't see right. You can't see straight when you in somebody's bed. Okay. Because I feel like you would have been able to see all these things. I'm not sure why you're just now coming to the realization. Um, and two, I think the bigger part of it is, and I know it's hard because we want to humans, we want companions, and I understand that, but it's the part of being thirsty. That's where you get in trouble. When you are thirsty for a man, that's never ever good because what's going to happen is things that you normally would say, hey, that's a red flag. That's weird. Why is he treating me this way? I wonder why. When you're thirsty for a man, you'll overlook all that stuff because you just want the man at any cost. And that's the issue that we've seen that Rose has run into. I I got the blinders on. Like Rose, were you at any of the meetings with Hussein and his friends where all they talked about was sex for an hour? That didn't make you wonder, is Hussein even serious out here? These are the people he hangs around. The only questions they can ask me is, am I conservative in the bedroom and what moves I be doing? And these are his best friends. That's what they asking you. Nothing, no red flags. I'm not even gonna get started on Cam. I so yeah, you gotta listen, y'all. This is a tangent. Quick tangent. Like I always tell y'all, you gotta always be prepared to leave, okay? And I'm not talking about over any little nitpick thing. I'm talking about big stuff like we've been seeing. Infidelities, you not calling for a week and all this crazy stuff when you're dating somebody. You're looking for these big red flags. What could be really big issues? And when you see them, you got to be ready to get up out of there. It's not just about overlooking everything because they're going to change one day. I always tell y'all when I was dating my husband, we were probably dating for 2 months. His ex had broken up with him. Okay. She didn't want him no more. We get together, and all of a sudden, all the light bulbs came back on with her. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I need to come back. Calling him every day, all the stuff. So he says, you know what? She is a little out of control. I'm going to go meet with her in public at the Starbucks because she just wanted to meet with him so bad to tell him whatever it was. And so he said, he called me, let me know, like, I'm going to meet with her at this Starbucks, which was hilarious because he recorded the whole thing. He was like, I'm going to record it so ain't nothing crazy going on. But you know what I told him? I said, listen, because we had only been dating for 2 months. Okay. And I'm always prepared because one thing you're not going to do is stress me and play me. Okay. I told y'all I'm my only child. All I know is peace out here. So I can't do too much. But, I said, hey, I understand y'all have history. If you feel like y'all need to get back together, it's okay. I'm not mad. Okay. So it's no worries over here. And I think you're a great person, great guy. Okay. I was prepared. Now, we were together. He was like, no. And that was the last time. That was the end of that. And, we've been married for what, 12 years? Thank you, thank you. But like I said, don't let nobody play you out. I wasn't about to do no back and forth. And well, now she said that I wasn't about to do that. Okay. So you just really got to set your boundaries, have those in place. And again, nobody's perfect. So I'm not talking about little stuff here and there. I'm talking about like big stuff. You got to be prepared to bounce. I don't care who, I don't care how good they look, I don't care how much money they have. All right. I got it. This is a big tangent, but I'm always baffled to, and maybe I can't speak to this because I'm not in this situation, but you think about women that are with men that make a lot of money and those men take them through cheating all over the place, babies all over the place, and the women be sticking beside them. That always baffles me too because it's like I would live in a 1 bedroom apartment and ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? Like, because my husband be like, yeah, they ain't about to give up that lifestyle. Like, nah, man, bump that. I just can't. I can't be with nobody that's stressing me, man. You know what I'm saying? Every day your cortisol level up because you don't know what it's gonna be today and if this one gonna call your phone. And I just, you can't pay me enough. You can't give me enough money. I just think peace is invaluable. It just is. And I might just have to wear the same clothes every day or whatever, but and I just make it on my own. But you can't let nobody take you through like that. So not, I'm hoping the best for Rose, man. So yeah, and then too, so that was a crazy tangent, y'all. But I'm back. So where we left off is Rose is just now realizing that Cam is a con artist. And I was wondering, so we talking about babies, potential babies, him cheating. And y'all know every show I gotta get on production. So here it is. Production. Why didn't you ask Angie or Sahara how they felt about all of this information? I would have liked to know. Cause from what last we know, it was Cam and Sahara. And they were thinking about getting back together. But he hadn't texted her and she blocked him or whatever. And so in light of all of this information, because it seemed like this was news to Sahara and Angie, it's like, production, why didn't you say, so Sahara or Tommy? Because I guess, you know what, I ain't gonna blame production. This was a Tommy thing. Tommy should have been like, Sahara, you just not hearing all this. What you thinking? Or Angie, what you thinking? Like, I would have loved to hear their perspective. So I thought that was a miss. Um, but anyway, so Tommy ended their segment about asking Rose her overall experience on the show. She says she expected to leave with someone and feels robbed, feels gypped, and her happy ending has been stolen. And I said, see, Rose, that's where you went wrong. You should have came on here just looking, hoping to find somebody. But if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. If your person wasn't on here, they wasn't on here. But for you, like, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna find my person and I'm gonna have my happy ever after. That was the wrong spirit to even be in. Cause then you ended up forcing it, which we seen. Um, you put way too much pressure on yourself. You put way too much pressure on this process. These are 10 random guys. I mean, who knows if that would have been one of them would have been your person. It's not like it was 500 men. At that point, it's like, yeah, you probably could find somebody, but 10, I don't know. So I just think you put too much on it. And that's what happens when you are trying to win a prize, okay? Trying to win the show, I'm gonna leave with my happy ever after. Like, no, you don't know that. You should have just came in open to the process and open to whatever may have happened. So And then it gets worse, y'all. Then she says her heart was broken and it makes her want to give up on love. I said, girl, what? Because of Cam and Hussein, that's gonna make you give up on love. You should have never even started love with them two. So I'm not even sure what you're talking about there. And I do feel bad for Rose. I do understand that she wants somebody. But she did say a key word. She said she was naive. So she did own it because girl, yes, you were very naive. Um, and then like I said, you can't want something so bad, and that's with anything in this world, not even relationships. You can't want anything so bad that you're willing to do anything, because that puts you in a very vulnerable position, as we seen. I don't care what you can't want money so bad. You can't want a job so bad. You can't want anything so bad that you're just going to be overlooking stuff and you're just willing to do anything. Um, and then overall, y'all, I just thought Rose went out with such a bad look. I just would have loved it. I mean, the oversharing just made everything worse. I know she thought she ate, and I know she thought she was calling people out, but I just think it made her look so bad. Like I didn't need to know she had sex with Cam and Hussein. I was like, yikes! I didn't need to know that. And that Kim was over there drunk and she was going through his phone and ah, it just no. I would have, like I told y'all last episode, I would have loved for Rose to be beautiful like she was and just come out there and sit pretty. Like I'm so glad I didn't leave with either one of y'all, and left it at that. But just her crying and being so emotional, and I was robbed and I was juked, and man, it's just like, girl, you didn't lose out on anything with them two. I still don't think she believes it. But anyway, that's us, Rose and Cam and Hussein love triangle. So then we go over to Eddie, who I told y'all I never thought was serious. Um, I didn't feel like there was anybody on the show that really piqued his interest. That's what I thought about Eddie. I think he could be a good guy. I think he may be ready to love potentially, but I picked up really quick. I don't think it was anybody there that he really liked like that. I think he was trying to make the best of it, and I think he just picked somebody. Um, but it never felt like to me that he was truly into anybody on the show. I think, like I said, the pretty privileged thing, which he is a part of that committee. I think he seen Coley, but 2 seconds conversation with her, I think he was like, oh nah. Which that's why I kind of give him credit because I do think he's very intellectual. Because most guys would have went for Coley, but it's because of the look and the aesthetic. But for him to be able to talk to her and be like, she kind of don't have the depth that I'm looking for. I was like, okay, all right, I see you. But Rose wasn't done. Rose said, because I heard there was a rumor going around that Eddie was in a full blown relationship during the show. Eddie denies. And this is the thing too. If this is true, because I mean we don't know, but if this was true, and let's say I was Eddie's girlfriend, he was like, "Nah, I wasn't in no relationship." I would go right on social media, like, "Yes, he was in a relationship with me," because you're not about to deny me, okay? But I don't know. That could have been a lie. Um, but part of me thought that maybe he was lying because it's my thing, right? If somebody were to say something that was a lie about me, let's say right now somebody was like, "Well, Tanisha was cheating on her husband with 5 men," or something like that. Like complete lie. This is my first time hearing it. Like immediately my face is gonna be like when somebody says a lie, you crunch your face up because you're like, what? Like you're trying to understand, like, who said that? What are you talking about? Like you're like, what? So when anytime somebody says something to somebody and they face be straight and they're like, nah, man, it ain't true. I be thinking it's true. Cause why you not shocked right now? And everybody different, but I just feel like when somebody tells you something that's a blatant lie about yourself, you're immediately like, what? And when somebody's just like, nah, man, I feel like you know what they about to say, and in your mind, you're like, okay, play it cool, play it cool. Nah, that ain't true. So I don't know. Eddie, I feel like something, maybe he wasn't in a full blown relationship, but maybe he was also talking to somebody outside of the show. which I figure like most of them are. I mean, I don't think these people come on the show and they just cut off everybody in their life. Like I don't think that. So it probably was just somebody he was talking to. And then so they run the tape with him and Coley. And like I said, I did think Coley was wrong. I think we gotta respect the men just like they have to respect the women. I think that had those roles been reversed and Eddie like forced himself to kiss Coley, I think Eddie would have been kicked off the show. I think we've seen that in previous seasons. And so I thought Coley should have been dismissed too, but because it's a guy, we kind of like let it slide or whatever. Um, and then she just always sounds drunk or high. I don't know if it's me. It could just be her personality. I don't know. But anyway, so that was that. So next we move on to Kiara and Jay. And I apologize if I'm saying her name wrong. Kara? I don't know. All right. So she says that her and Jay are not still a thing. And because she expected to be courted and she was not. Jay said he needed a week to decompress, and then he told her he needed a month to decompress. Okay. And what I always tell y'all, if a man likes you, he will pursue you. Period. There's no other thing. It's not the show, it was a lot. So I need a week. I need a month. See, my charger had died, and that's why I ain't text you in the last 3 days. See, it's none of that. If a man likes you, he's gonna pursue you. There's no other thing that's happening. Okay, it doesn't work like that. In normal life, we all go through things. We all have things going on, but we still talk to our partner daily. Okay, there's no other thing. Um, so Jay says he was trying to get back to reality. All right, so here's the excuse and have it be more realistic as a part of the show. He was with her almost every day, 16 hours a day, and he felt like he needed a break. And this is something that my pastor told me before I got married that I never forgot. And she said that you got to start out how you can hold out. And I just always remembered that. And that just simply means don't start out doing something that you're not going to be able to sustain for the long haul. Um, and she told me that advice, and I still did the exact opposite. So me and my husband got married, and I was a superwoman. Okay, I was washing his clothes and drying his clothes and putting them up and vacuuming and cleaning the whole house every day and cooking from scratch and doing all this stuff. And then about 3 or 4 months in, I said, "Hey, this isn't fair. I feel like I'm doing everything." And then my husband was like, "Well, you look like you was having fun doing it. I didn't tell you to do everything." You see what I'm saying? I was doing too much. All right. I was starting out doing something that I couldn't sustain. You see what I'm saying? And that sounds like what Jay did. Um, it sounds like, I mean, if y'all was dating or meeting up every day and going out every single day and eating every single day and going on dates every single day, you was with her 16 hours a day, she's gonna expect like, oh, this is how it's gonna be, right? So then you can't switch it up. Or when you try to switch it up, she gonna say, "Hey, what happened? What's going on?" She got used to it, and so when she switched it up, I think she's seeing that as rejection. Um, and Kiara, she seems like the type of girl, and there's nothing wrong with this because we all like what we like. But she seems like the type of girl that needs to be taken out a lot on a lot of dates. She needs to be pampered. She knows this about herself. Okay, she hasn't hidden this. And then Jay seems like the type of guy that he just kind of want to be at the house and chill. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's nothing wrong with that either. The problem is when neither one is willing to bend or compromise. And I think Kiara was like, "Oh no, no, no. I'm not about to be at nobody's house. Okay, you need to be taking me out while we're not going out. I want to go eat. Let's go eat." And Jay was probably just like, "Yo, can't you just come over?" So yeah, that's a telltale sign. That's a classic example of you gotta, and I know it's hard because when you first meet somebody, it's the butterflies and everything's perfect, but you gotta kind of have some type of normalcy or make it be a little bit realistic. And I think Jay started off too high. But I do want to say, shouts out to Kiara. She's modeling exactly what I said. Um, if it's not right, what you got to be willing to do, be up out. And she was like, "Oh no, I'll see you later." And so I love that. That's exactly how you got to be, and move on gracefully. Like I said, it's not about downing anybody and see Jay is a bad person. You ain't got to do all that. And I don't think she did that. Right? It's just like he a good person. Appreciate the time for what it was. But I'm gonna be moving on. Okay. And that's all you got to do. You don't got to down nobody, talk down about it. You don't got to tell everybody, "Oh, he's a great person," but he just wasn't my person. It wasn't for me. Um, and then this is funny too, y'all. So after this segment, they were in the confess not the confessional, but like the in the back or whatever. And the guys was asking Jay if he was okay.
What? Who, me? You know I got girls. What you mean? Me? I got all kind of girls. I got like 50 girls right now waiting for me in my phone, please.
I was like, Jay, stop. You doing a lot. Like, calm down. That's how you know a man is hurt, like when they put on like that. He was like, what? It's like, it's okay. You can be hurt, or you can be like, yeah, dog, I wish it would have worked out, man. But you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta do all that. So anyway, so we're moving right along. So Jay, Jay and Kiara, I thought that they could work, but I did think it was going to be toxic. That was my view on them. I thought it was going to be some ups and downs in that thing, and it seems like it hit quicker than I was even thinking. So they didn't even make it. But like I said, shouts out for them realizing, we're just two different people. We're gonna go our separate directions. So then we moved to Deanna. So Tommy, oh yeah, so Tommy was talking about the whole piece about Deanna and her job being important as a firefighter, and how she can't communicate while she's on her job. I didn't like how Tommy was like playing into it because he was on. So it was Deanna and Hussein, and then Tommy pretty much was like, Hussein, she can't be texting you just like a pilot can't text when he in the air, y'all. And I don't know, but this is what I feel like. I feel like they not putting out fire, and we need firefighters. Okay, they are very important. But I'm just saying they're not putting out fires 24/7 around the clock. I feel like they be in the firehouse playing PS5, playing spades, okay, on their phones. That's just how I feel. I could be wrong. They could be in there doing mad paperwork. I don't know. But I don't think so. Like Deanna, you're not putting out fires all the time at every second where you just can't use your phone. And I didn't like how Tommy was trying to play it like that too. Um, I mean, I feel like they could probably got more time than a normal person working a 9 to 5 to be on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like they not in that clubhouse. I mean, in their firehouse. Just I don't know. I just feel like they be playing around in there, which they got a hard job, so I'm not mad at it. Um, and I'm joking, y'all. I'm halfway joking. I know it's a very important job. So, but I called this too. I said this about Deanna, from episode like 3. I think her job gives her, her identity. The job makes her, and she thinks very highly of herself because she is a firefighter. And Deanna wants to show a man, I can do anything you can do. That's her whole lot in life. Okay. And this firefighter thing has really given her that boost of energy. Like, yeah, firefighters are normally men, but not me. I'm a woman and I can do it too. And I might do it better. Okay. That's her whole thing. Never forget about the horse. Her first date with her and Hussein. Hussein is 6'7", y'all. There was a big horse and there was a one that was slightly smaller. So what would you do if you're on a date with a man that's 6'7" and you're obviously not 6'6" anything? Okay, you might be 5'5" or something. Deanna says, "I'm gonna take the big horse and I'm gonna give him the small one." That's all I need to know. Okay, doing too much. Wants to show that I can do anything a man can do, and I seen this clip yesterday, and Deanna was talking about how the producers had gave her a bad edit. She said the producers had asked her if she could take Jay like in the gym, I guess like lifting weights or something. And she was like, absolutely, I could. And that just again, it just goes to prove my point. She, for some reason, has this complex where she needs to compete against men and show that she's the dominant one. Um, Her and Angie are one and the same thing. Angie will drive herself in labor to the hospital with a whole man on the side. Okay. It, I just think for both of them, it's going to be a little tough for them to be in a relationship with a man because when you're in a relationship with a man, the good thing is you can, like, we probably can do a lot of the same things, but you don't have to. So sit back, relax. And they both don't know how to hold space for a man. If that's what you want, if that's what you're saying you want, you don't got to be in a relationship with anybody. But if you want, you desire to be in a relationship with a man, but at every turn you're trying to compete and show him. And remember when they asked her, like, what would you expect a man to do? And she was like, take out the trash. I can do everything else. And it's like, no, no. So, yeah, both of them have a lot of work to do if they want to be in relationships because the man wouldn't even feel like needed at all. She would see to it. So Deanna says she has some potentials that she is talking to right now, and they also um take work as a priority. These people that she's talking to. She was like, I mean, we might text on Monday and we might not text again till Wednesday or Thursday. And I said, what a man is hearing when you say that, because you gotta be careful, Deanna. I know again you think that's a flex because in her mind, men they don't need to talk every day, right? They can talk whenever, they don't have emotions in it and everything. So she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be the same way. Yeah, I don't need to talk every day. Be careful. Because what a man is hearing you say is, okay, she requires very little from me. She's going to require very little effort from me and she's going to be cool with it. So I can check in once or twice in a week with her and she'll be cool. That's what they're hearing. I know you think you're doing something, but be careful with that. Um, and as you can see, the person that piped up real quick was Eddie. He was like, "Oh, yeah, that's great. I love that. Shoot, I love that." See, because they're hearing, "Oh, she requires a little effort." And remember, Eddie told us in a couple of episodes back that he's very busy and he barely got time and all this. So I think he was like, "Oh, okay." Um, so again, Deanna has to be careful when she's going to put herself in a trick bag. Because again, you got to start out how you can hold out. So you can't start out saying, "Oh yeah, you ain't got to text me, but twice a week." And then when they do that, then you mad. Then why you not texting me? Why you not checking on me? Don't switch it up. All right. So I would be careful with that whole thing you got going, Deanna. So that was that, and then the last thing was Shanice. So Shanice says that she has been abused and she used clothes to kind of mask how she felt. But today she feels good about herself and she loves herself. And so out of this whole thing, y'all, I think we're the only people, Shanice and Fritz, and they didn't even really lead the show together. I mean,
Clock it.
wrong button, my bad. I guess. I don't think Fritz is it at all. Like I told you, I think he's very full of himself, very arrogant, thinks he's the smartest in the room. I think he's playing a game for Ready to Love. I think he wanted to be able to come back on the show and say, see, y'all thought I was polyamorous or whatever, but I got a woman. I think that's what that was about. I can't really see them lasting like that, but I hope. Good job. Okay. Um, so that was all of it, guys. It seems like so basically this season, it was good as far as the drama. It always is, but like it also always is rarely any connections that actually happen. I can't believe when the show came on, Tommy said something to the extent of the most successful dating show in TV history. I was like, no, Tommy, stop. So I think we've only got one wedding so far. The one they showed Cornelius and I can't remember her name. That's the only wedding so far. We on season 10. I'm like, is anybody else even still together? We might have like two or three couples that were still together. So I don't know, but we love the drama. So anyway, the next one they're going to Detroit. What up, though? So they're going to Detroit in 2028. I'm just joking. But y'all know how they do. Because when they gone for like a year before they came back, they had the nerve to come back, run it from February to what was it? February, March, maybe April, and then went off for 3 months and came back. It's a mess. So ready to love Detroit. Don't know when. Like I said, it might be 2028. So that's all I have, y'all. I hope y'all have enjoyed these reviews. I have enjoyed doing it with you. I just started my channel probably, yeah, I guess when this came out. This is my first show in February. And so I'm also going to be doing Love is Blind. So if you have enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe. My next little milestone, I'm trying to get to 75 subscribers. So if you enjoyed this review, look at me saying like, comment, and subscribe because I always forget. This is the first time I'm ever doing this live. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'm going to be reviewing Love is Blind. Um, I want to do more shows, but I just don't have the time, y'all. So I'm just doing one show at a time. So Love is Blind is gonna be my next one. You know, I got 3 kids, a 1-year old, 2-year old, 7-year old. I got a full-time job. I'm an adjunct professor. I can't do 3 and 4 and 5 shows. I'm so sorry. But if y'all want to check out Love is Blind US comes on tomorrow on Netflix. So y'all can watch those episodes and then I'm gonna be doing reviews. They might be late because you know how we do. But they're gonna be here. All right, so I have enjoyed it. I hope y'all have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.